Coming up on News Desk, Dwabing Traditional Authority refutes claims Assembly members were forced to kneel and apologize to the Omanhene for failing to seek permission from the chief before going ahead to hold a news conference. Also, as ban on tricycles on the motorway takes effect, we get talking with transport experts on possible implications for patrons and the general public. And the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair ends today. If you have not made your way to the Accra International Conference Centre yet, we'll urge you to do so before 8 p.m. tonight. But what's it been like so far and what can you expect on the last day? We'll be getting into that. We also have business and sports coming up in this package. I'm July. Thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned in. The Dwabing Traditional Council is refuting claims that it forced some assembly members to kneel and beg the Omanhene for going ahead to hold a news conference without the permission of the chief. This was after the assembly members held a news conference last Friday to express their misgivings about processes leading to the confirmation of the president's MCE nominee for Dwabing Municipal Assembly. The said press conference is believed to have incensed the Omanhene of the area, who had already met and spoken with the organizers and the president's MCE nominee to resolve grievances between them. Following the news conference, the 8 assembly members were invited to the chief's palace to apologize for disrespecting the chief. Pictures of the assembly members on their knees have since gone viral with several narratives. A statement issued by the Dwabing Traditional Council has since sought to set the record straight on what transpired at the Omanhene's palace. The registrar, Dwabing Traditional Council, Kwadwo Akoma Asari, joins us on Zoom with some more on this. Many thanks for your time, sir. All right, so apparently we do not have him at the moment, but the presiding assembly member, some of the assembly members tell Joy News they are under pressure to confirm the president's nominee. Emmanuel Gallo was among the 8 members who knelt to beg the Omanhene. He joins us on the phone with their side of the story. Hello, Emmanuel. So who is putting pressure on you to confirm the nominee and why? All right, it appears we do not have Emmanuel as well, but we will work the phone lines and try and raise them again and get to hear from both sides, from those assembly members who believe that they are under pressure to confirm the president's nominee, as well as the Dwabing Municipal Assembly and what they have to say. So it appears we can go to the Dwabing Municipal Assembly now. Good morning to you, and thank you for your time. Hello, good morning to you, and thank you for thank you for making time to speak with us. So you're saying that it's not true, the stories that are making the round so far about why the assembly members were kneeling has been misconstrued. So you tell us, what's the story?
As is contained in the press release, there's no iota of truth in the fact that assembly members were made to kneel before the Omanhene for voting against the nominee of the president after they went to vote to confirm him. The true state of the issue is that on the 14th of October, around 3 p.m., the presiding member of the Municipal Assembly, in the person of Joseph Asari, in the company of 3 other honorable members, came to my office as the registrar of the Traditional Council, seeking to have an audience with the Omanhene. As much as that their appointment had not been confirmed, I informed the Omanhene of their presence, and he decided to meet them. At the meeting, they had come to plead with the Omanhene to, as a matter of fact, call the assembly members together with the nominee and supporters of the nominee. They wanted the Omanhene to advise them and settle the impasses that had come up after they had failed to confirm the nominee the very first time he was nominated. True to the Omanhene's effort of maintaining peace and ensuring that development takes place in Dwabing, he scheduled a meeting at the behest of the presiding member for Tuesday, 19th October. And at the said meeting, the assembly members were given the opportunity to voice out all their grievances. And after all of them, whoever had wanted to speak was given the opportunity to talk. After they had voiced out their grievances, the nominee was given the opportunity to also state the side of the issues that had been raised. At that point, he came in, that is the nominee, came in to inform the assembly members and Ananum that most of the issues or some of the issues raised were true and that he is not there to explain himself, but he is pleading for their forgiveness. He's begging them to go and vote for him and confirm him. At that point, Nananom came in and due to the plea of mercy from the nominee, Nananom settled all the differences that came up, all the issues that were raised. And the assembly members accepted the plea. After that, they all shared handshakes and requested to have a monumental picture with the Omahene, which he granted them. After that, the Omahene traveled to Accra to go about his duties. And on Friday, Friday, 29th October, that's just this Friday, they came to vote. And around midday, the Omahene, who was returning from Kumasi, heard on radio that they had organized a press conference stating that they were not going to vote again. The Omahene was a bit surprised about the turn of events because when they came to meet him, they had requested that whatever that will come out of the issue again, they would fall back on the Omahene. So he was surprised that if anything had come up again, they would have consulted him first than to hear the issue on air. So when he got to Jaben, he called for the assembly members to meet him. At that point, he pointed out to them that they should have come back to him as they had promised, rather than first going to the press to state their issues. At that point, and realizing that they had erred, they sought the intervention of the Jasehene of the Traditional Council to plead on their behalf. And it was at that point that they conferred with the Jasehene and they decided to kneel down as a sign of remorse before the Omahene. So the Omahene did not compel anybody to kneel down. When they realized that they had erred and sought the intervention of the Jasehene, and he had a tete-a-tete with them, and they decided to kneel, all of them to a man. Not even one person exempted himself. They knelt, and they were not even down for up to 1 minute. And the Omahene asked them to just get up and state, tell him why they.
All right, Kwekwasari, I'd actually want you to hold on for us a bit because we have Emmanuel Gallo. Kwekwasari, I want you to hold on. We have Emmanuel Gallo, who's supposed to be one of the 8 members who knelt to beg the Omahene. So he was there. Emmanuel Gallo, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
All right, so we've heard what transpired as far as Kwekwasari is concerned. So what got you to kneel, as we've seen in the photos that have gone around?
Okay, good morning to your listeners and viewers. It's very true that on that day, all what Kweku said, is true. When we got to the Gabi in the morning, we had wanted to go and do 2 separate meetings. We were to do 2 separate meetings. One is approving of the budget. Then in the afternoon, we do what we call confirmation of the president's nominee. Confirmation of the president's nominee. Whilst we've not even started with the morning's meeting, then we saw 4 armored cars, fully armed militiamen, 2 cars with policemen. So we asked ourselves what is actually going to happen. if indeed the meeting is 2 o'clock and as early as 9:30 to 10 this is happening, then it means we are not safe. So we decided to let the whole world know what we are going through. So we quickly called for the press conference, which at the press conference, Nana himself came there to let us understand that no, he is not too comfortable with what we are doing, so we should stop. And he asked me, Honorable Gallo, yourself and Ajari, lead the people and bring them to my palace, which we respectfully did. We got there, and Nana was not happy. So he was even standing while talking to us. Then we said, Nana, we are sorry for that. So, when you go to the palace, eventually you cannot just go and talk straight forward. You must get somebody who will be leading you. So we seek the support of Nana Afriyie, who is just immediate past presiding member of the assembly. He was a government appointee and also a presiding member. So he is a brother, a father, everything to us. So we spoke with him and he led us to plead with Nana that we are sorry. When we came back, we were told to kneel. Honestly, there were so many thieves around. So to be honest with you, hearing the voice of the particular thief who said we should kneel, I cannot bear witness to that. But we kneeled for like 5 minutes. Then we were asked to stand. When we stand, Nana said, okay, now if indeed you have accepted it that you've erred, I have also forgiven you. But go back and vote now so that the issue rests and everybody gets his peace. Then the members were not too happy. So again, we went out with Afriyie, and we came back and said to Nana, members are not too comfortable. Anger, the temper is not good for the situation. So we plead with you that, please, if we could postpone the meeting. He said, no, go and do the voting to show respect to me. So Nana asked, how many of you will want to vote today? Those who want the voting to take place, will come and stand at my right. With 8 of us, including myself, went and stood there. We were 4 elected and 4 appointees. So that is what happened. And the 18 said they are not ready to vote. So Nana said, if you people are bold to tell me this, then leave my palace. Then we all left the palace. Later did I got to know that 6 of the people who said we should vote today, that is 2 out of the 6, out of the 8 followed the suit and went out. So they were left with 6 in the palace. And later they also left, and the nominee decided to change 4 of the appointees who have joined suit with the elected members and have wanted to do the election, but it could not come on. So there wasn't anything election on the day for people to say that indeed there are some people who voted no, that is why we are kneeling. We did not kneel because we voted no.
All right. So from what you've told us, I get the understanding that you didn't kneel, or there was a part of some kneeling where you were pleading, but there was some kneeling for 5 minutes because a chief asked you to kneel.
Yes.
All right. So at least there was and you were not happy.
Asked us to kneel, and not the assembly. I did not hear the voice of the assembly.
All right.
But to be honest, I heard, if indeed you have agreed that you've heard, kneel.
And you said
so
that you're saying that kneeling lasted 5 minutes.
Yes, like 5 minutes.
All right. Mr. Sari, so you've heard what Emmanuel Gallo has had to say. There was some kneeling. They were compelled to kneel for about 5 minutes, even though he's saying that he can't tell who exactly asked them to kneel, not that the chief himself. Hello, Mr. Sari. Quick, Sari. All right, we seem not to have him immediately, but I believe that's where the story ends, because now we've heard from the 2 sides, and the assembly members who were made to kneel are explaining that, yes, they knelt, by the way, it was because they had been asked to kneel. I have, it looks like we have Kwadwo Sari back on the line now. Hello, Kwadwo Sari.
Yes, sir, I went off.
All right, yes. So we've heard from the Emmanuel Gallo, who's one of the 8 members who was seen in the photo kneeling. He said that virtually all the things you said is true, apart from the fact that the kneeling, there was a part where they were made to kneel for about 5 minutes.
He said 5 minutes.
Yes.
No, please.
Well,
no,
he's on the line. He says that they were asked to kneel for 5 minutes.
No, please. For 5 minutes, no. It's not. It's not. There's no iota of truth in that. And like I stated earlier on, it wasn't the Omahini who compelled them to kneel down.
Well, he's indicated that. He's made that quite clear. He says it wasn't the Omahini. He didn't hear the voice of the Omahini, but one of the chiefs asked them to kneel down. And they
exactly,
went
like
down.
I said, it's the chief who they asked to intervene on their behalf. Who, yes, you know, in Ghanaian settings and Akan culture and custom, when you are remorseful, you kneel before your elders to show that sign of remorse. So when the Jasahini, who they had asked to intervene on their behalf, pointed out to them that if they are indeed remorseful, then they should kneel to show it. Then, like I said, all of them to a man knelt before the Omahini to plead for forgiveness.
But
so it's not true that they were compelled.
Noted. But what do you make of what he's saying, that the Omahini was putting pressure on them to go vote?
The Omahini never compelled anybody to go and vote. Like I stated earlier on, at the meeting on 19th October, before 19th, the presiding member and 3 other members had come to the Omahini.
Okay, let's hear Mr. Gallo.
Because I'm just about going to vote. So let me come in quickly. I have not said that Omahini compelled us to go and vote. I said Omahini asked that how many of you will be happy to vote today, will want to vote today. And 8 of us went to his right hand side, and 18 said they are not ready. This is what I said, please. All right,
but you also indicated that he told you to go and vote.
He said no. He said that 8, how many of you want to vote? And 8 of us stood in his right hand saying that
Emmanuel Gallo, I heard you very clearly, and we can play it back. There was a point where you said that you had been asked to go and vote.
No. Well, if that is what we are saying, to me, maybe it is a slip of tongue, but I am taking this opportunity to correct it. That Omahini said that the people who want to vote today should stand at the right side, and it is only 8, which I am proud of, who went to the right hand side, and 18 said no. So we were asked to leave the palace, and we all left. Then later on, that I got to know that 6 of the 8 were standing there, and they were asked to go to the court premises. This is what I said, and I said at that place, 4 of the appointees were changed. But my brother, sorry, I am just entering into the election hall, so if we could talk later.
All right. Thank you very much, Emmanuel Gallo. Emmanuel Gallo is one of the assembly members that you can see in the photo there. That's that's been going around. They were seen kneeling at the Dwabi Omahini's palace. And thank you to Kwadwo Sare for bringing clarity to this issue for us. Thank you. Now, we have Dr. Eric Kudrosan, who's a local governance expert, and he's joining us with some thoughts on this. Good morning to you, Doctor, and thanks for your time. So, what do you make of all that's going on? There seems to be some compulsion, but the assembly member is also saying that, okay, well, not quite. They see the armored vehicles brought to the scene, and they felt that, yes, there was some pressure being put on them to vote. What do you make of all of that?
Thank you very much. I think we live in a country of rule of law, and then we should also appreciate that under Article 11 of our Constitution, customary laws and then common law are recognized. So if the assembly members sought to listen to the traditional authorities, it's part of the governance process. However, if the right to vote of assembly members are infringed upon, they have every right to go to court. I am always surprised about people who run to the media for the media to come to their defense if their rights are being trampled upon. If they genuinely think they have a case, they should just go to court and provide the evidence in court that their rights have been trampled upon. But from the way he's explained the thing, it seems to me that they respected the customary laws of the land as provided for under Article 11 of our Constitution. And he's now trying to run away from the fact that they are right. When it comes to law, we should be very careful, because under our democracy, the rule of law is what we're working with.
But we've seen, this is not the first time we've seen this happening in this particular confirmation of MMDCs. It's something that's quite rife. And a lot of people have spoken about it. I don't know what you make of the way this becomes, it's increasingly becoming the main thing that's happening or typical of the confirmation of MMDCs.
I think it's happening because they are not exercising their right. I am not in favor of people who make noise without testing the laws. If it happens in one assembly, two assemblies, three assemblies, then what they need to do is to go to court. If they strongly believe that their rights have been infringed upon. So, yes, I have not witnessed it in any assembly. So I'm in a very difficult position to draw conclusions. But my simple advice is that if it happens and the assembly members genuinely believe that their right to represent their electoral areas, their right to exercise their votes, their right to approve an MMDC have been infringed upon or impaired illegally, the right forum is to go to court. So I'm challenging all such individuals to go to court, so they test the laws. And that is the only way by which this can stop, if it is happening in any way.
You know, we keep on saying that go to court, but we've also been informed that going to court is not that easy.
Oh, it is easy. We have the legal aid board across the country. And it is not very expensive, I must say, to go to court. It will depend on the case, because in cases of human rights abuse, we have SHRAJ there. We also have the legal aid board there. So I can tell you confidently that if they want to go to court to protect their right to represent, which advances the cause of democracy in this country, they'll be able to get some of the human rights lawyers to represent them on pro bono basis.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Odro Asai, who's a local governance expert there. You're watching News Desk here on the Joy News channel. Also, I heard, also in the bulletin, 3 minority members of parliament in the central region say they would push for parliament to legalize the use of tricycles known as Pragya in the country. According to them, should the police force enforce the present law that prohibits their use for commercial activities, the security of the state will be hugely compromised because thousands of you depend on it. George Kweku Rickett-Hagan, Dr. Kwamina Minta Nyako, and Samuel Atamils say if the issues with the use of tricycles are not handled with care, the country could face an unemployment explosion that would prove too hot for government to handle. Speaking at the summit in Cape Coast, the 3 MPs asked government to see the users for Pragya as entrepreneurs and support them by digitalizing their activities. Richard Kodunaka attended the summit and has come through with this report.
The use of Pragya for commercial activities has provoked mixed reactions on the street of Cape Coast. While some stick with the law and maintain that there is a legislative instrument that prescribes it, others feel that in the wake of the huge unemployment deficit in the country, Parliament should, as a matter of a national security concern, legalize the use of tricycles, popularly known as Pragya. A summit dubbed the Pragya Summit in Cape Coast sought to discuss the teething challenges with the use of Pragya for commercial activities and the possible ramifications. MP for Cape Coast South, George Kweku Rickett-Hagan, says it's unacceptable for the country to continue to make the use of tricycles for commercial purposes illegal.
In fact, as a result of this Pragya operation, we have been able to get people who otherwise would have been criminals, who otherwise would have been armed robbers off the street into this kind of work. It sounds ridiculous that at the age of, 18, you cannot, ride Pragya. We have been told that the payroll is full, and therefore the youth should become entrepreneurial. To become entrepreneurial, these are some of the things you can do. The Okada riders are entrepreneurs. Some riding their own Pragyas, or some doing it on behalf of others and getting paid. I said the youth unemployment in this country is a time bomb. And we, the politicians, must wake up and smell the problem that this is a security threat. Unemployment of our youth is a threat to this country. It's a security threat, and something must be done.
The Cape Coast Metro Assembly will, on the 15th of November, begin the implementation of measures aimed at restricting users of the tricycles to 25 years and above, and also restrict their movement to certain areas and operational times. But MP for Cape Coast North, Dr. Kwamina Mintanya says the law on the age requirement should be reviewed.
Myself, Honorable George Kukuru Ketegan, and then Honorable Atta Mills are now going to push for Parliament to consider the need for us to regularize Pragya in Ghana and especially in Cape Coast. I think it is important because it is also going to be an avenue for the youth to have employment. All we have to do is to make sure they ride at the prescribed areas. I'm of the view that if you have to vote and you have to be 18 years, if you have to get married and you have to be 18 years or 16 years, if you have to do any other thing and you have an age limit, what stops us from also looking at how we can also allow our Pragya people to also ride at the age of 18?
Deputy Central Regional MTTD Commander ASP Bismarck Setuchi indicated the police would move with the existing law once it hasn't been changed.
I think the feedback is they weren't happy because they are saying that there's no job in Cape Coast and Pragya has created some sort of employment for them. But that is not the issue. Should we also legalize prostitution or drug abuse, drug system? No. Pragya is not for commercial purposes. So my advice to them is they should stop using Pragya for commercial purposes. So the laws were made by parliamentarians, and our duty is to make sure we enforce the law. That's what exactly we are doing. And we'll keep on enforcing the law to the latter.
The Pragya Association in Cape Coast says they are going to push for their job to be legalized because should it be collapsed, thousands would be jobless. Reporting for Joy News, Richard Kwadwo, Cape Coast.
Now, this year's EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair is attracting huge patronage as consumers are being connected to their dream homes in any part of the country. Some of the exhibitors are already providing good discounts to patrons attending the fair. Nicholas Ekoyama was there this weekend to speak with some patrons and exhibitors who are elated and have applauded the organizers for the fair.
This is the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair at the Accra International Conference Center. Today is day 3 and a weekend, of course. So lots of people are here at the Accra International Conference Center to see various deals and offers by the exhibitors.
We are really satisfied because most Ghanaians need something better, and they've gotten what we are giving to them. So they are really enjoying the service that we are giving to them. That's why they are patronizing our product.
The patronage has been good. We've had people visiting the stand, customers, prospective customers. Some also come to make inquiries. Some are making purchases since we are running a promo. You know, when you make purchases here for any of the products available for sale, you get 15% discount. So it's been great.
It's been fun. We've had a lot of prospective homeowners coming in to ask for the prices, and we are giving them the details of it. We are giving them a good deal when they come on board. So we expect more of them.
Once you are walking in here, any sale that you are getting right from here, let me put emphasis on here, not after here. At the Habitat Fair, you'll be given a whopping 5% discount on any property that you are buying from. I mean, it's very huge to us.
Yeah, so when you come, what we do is that we have some packages that we give you. We can have an arrangement with you. You pay half, we come and do the installation for you, and then we give you some time to do the payment.
Basically, I'm here prospecting, trying to find what new areas are coming up in the city, and opportunity to acquire some few lands and consider a house that perhaps I may want to save towards retirement. So basically, it gives you a plethora of options for you to choose from. And I kind of think I like the whole idea, being able to know that it's possible for everybody to own maybe a couple of properties before you retire.
I learned about the fair from my brother here, so we decided to pass through and see what's happening. So you can see I have a lot of brochures, and because of time too, you have to, hit as many stands as you can, but they are doing very well to give us as much information as they can.
I'm actually putting up a structure, so I've gotten a few supplies from this place. So I'll probably contact them so that they can, do some installation for me.
If you're not here, you're missing a lot. But hey, don't worry, because the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair is on till Monday, 1st November 2021 from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Reporting for Joy News, my name is Nicholas Ekoyama.
All right, so General Manager in charge of Sales and Marketing and Multimedia Group, Max Fuga, he joins me in the studio on what to expect on the last day, which is actually today. So welcome to the studio, Mr. Fuga. I would first want to find out, I'm sure you've been interacting with some of the exhibitors. How's the fair going for them so far?
I think so far it's been successful. Yesterday, for example, we went around, engaged all of them, spoke to them. The feedback has been good. The feedback has been good. I mean, sales have been good. Others, so it's not just about sales. Others are building network, others are building relationships, and others are also taking orders that will be supplied later. So far it's been good. And every single of them is happy with this year's fair.
All right. What would you say will be the highlights of this year's fair? It's still ongoing, by the way, so we have one more day until 8 p.m. today. If you haven't been there, you can go there until 8 p.m. So what have been some of the highlights for you?
Well, I think I'm happy you inform our viewers that today is the last day.
Oh, yeah.
It's been 4 days of hard work. For us as organizers, the biggest thing for this year's event is that at the pre-event meeting, we agreed with the exhibitors that, look, this year's fair, can you reduce your prices? Okay. Normally, if you go to fairs, you buy things higher than what pertains to the shops, in the shops.
Oh, really?
This year we agreed. And then, fortunately for us...
Why would they sell higher at the fair?
Well, there are reasons for it. There are reasons for it. So normally the fairs are a bit higher than how they sell it in the shops. But this year, we engaged them before the event, and they've all agreed that, look, they should slice the prices down. And so far, that has been the biggest plus for us at this year's fair.
Yeah, indeed, a number of them have been offering some very interesting discounts.
Very, very interesting discounts. And today is going to be the last day. You know, a lot of them will not want to carry some of the products back to their offices. So everything is going away today. And so if you are yet to go there, today is the last day. Between now and 7 p.m., if Israel says it's 8 o'clock, people want to go home early. And so by 7 o'clock, just go there and then buy whatever you want to buy at a very, very heavily discounted price. I mean, people have agreed to slash the prices down so that, I mean, that's the biggest thing for this year's fair.
I really didn't think about it this way, that because it's the last day, this is the best day for you to get a
Exactly.
deal.
Last day is the best day. Last day is the best day because people have left with some few products. They don't want to take it back. They want to dispose stuff. So it's the best time to go there. Between now and 7 p.m., just go and buy anything. You'll be smiling.
All right, and one other thing I would ask you to be on the lookout for is there's this promotion where you get to pick from numbers 1 to 8, and if you're able to pick the number that you mentioned, you're going to walk away with something. I wasn't successful yesterday.
Yes, I realize it. But somebody won, a lady won.
Yeah, a number of people won, actually.
Okay, that was a good
so
one.
You just pick, and it's as easy as that. You don't have to pay. You just pick, and if you're that lucky, you pick your number, then you get to walk away with something. So thank you very much, Max. So Max, you're saying that it's until 8 p.m. today.
7 p.m.
What, 7 p.m.? Because you have to close early today.
Yes.
Okay.
And the good thing is that we've had a lot of calls from Kumasi that we should replicate the same thing in Kumasi. And being a listening station, being a listening organizers, we have decided to go to Kumasi.
Oh, so we're actually going to Kumasi?
We're going to Kumasi the last week of November for the Kumasi edition of this year's Cities and Habitat Fair.
Oh, wow. You know, I posted it on Facebook, and someone came onto came to comment and said everything Accra.
No, we are going to
interesting
Kumasi.
That
we are going to
you're
Kumasi.
saying that,
I will be in Kumasi. So most of our sponsors are going with us, EcoBank, City and Habitats. Most of the sponsors are going that DBS have already signed on. So we are in Kumasi live the last week of this month, 26th to 29th.
That's interesting. So you heard it here first. The Joy News, EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair is coming to Kumasi at the end of this month. So those of you who are watching us in Kumasi, be on the lookout. Will be coming there. But the fair, as it's indicated, it's closing at 7 p.m. So you have between now and 7 p.m. to be there. Thank you very much, Max Fuga, for coming through.
Thank you.
Watching News Desk, we're taking a break. We'll be back in a bit. You're welcome back to News Desk, and we're going over now to Afriyie, where there's the National Science and Maths Quiz competition, a contest taking place. Maxwell Agogba is there for Joy News. Hello, Maxwell. So which contest is this? Which are the schools participating? Maxwell, you have to unmute.
Israel, yeah. So the first contest, we have Ghana Senior High School in that particular contest. We also have Afriyie Senior High School and then Xavier Senior High School. We are in round 2 right now. Round 2 is actually over. What is happening right now in the auditorium behind me is round 3. So round 3 is ongoing problem of the day. But as it stands right now, Ghana Senior High School is leading the contest with just 5 points. They took an early lead in the first round. That Afriyie Senior High School managed to close the gap as it stands right now to just 5. We're waiting to see round 3, which is the problem of the day, has 10 points. So we're waiting to see if Afriyie Senior High School will be able to again close the gap and then catch up with their opponents, the guys from Ghana Senior High Secondary School. Xavier Senior High School, as it stands right now, not really in the contest, but also doing very well, proved to be a force to reckon with. Now, the second contest for the day, we have Okwapiman School, we have Emmanuel Gafo Senior High School, Nkrumah Pragya Senior High School. Third contest, we have Pragya Senior High School, the Buakwa State College, and then WBM Zion SHS. But in the auditorium itself, the place is filled by students from the Ghana Senior High School. A lot of them in there. Their all students are also in there, giving them all the needed support. All students of Afriyie Senior High School are also in there, giving them all the moral support that they need to qualify to the 1A stage of the competition. After interacting with quite a number of students who are here, and they tell me that it is their dream to actually go to Kumasi, where the 1A stage of the competition will be taking place, the 1A stage, the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the grand finale itself. What it means is that if they are able to win this particular contest, they will be able, they will qualify to the next stage, which is the 1A stage. If they are not able to win, then it means that they will drop out and hope that they'll be part of the top 15 schools with highest points, to move on to the next stage of the competition. So many of the students here are very hopeful. Their former students are also hopeful that they would qualify to the next stage of the competition. But as I speak to you, students of the WBM Zion SHS just arrived here on the ground in their yellow bag and then in their yellow polo shirts as well. We're waiting to get inside. Their contest will be the third contest for the day, Israel.
But would you know if the schools for the second contest are already in place? No, Maxwell, I'm asking if you would know if the schools that will be taking part in the second contest, that's Okwapiman School and the others, are already on the premises.
Sorry, Israel, can I get please?
I'm asking if the schools that will be taking part in the second contest, that's Okwapiman School, Manya Krobo, and in Kwitia Presby SHS, if they're already there on the premises.
Exactly. While we were in the auditorium, I saw students from the Okwapiman Senior High School arriving here on the ground. A lot of them looking very happy, quite optimistic that we're going to qualify to the 1A stage of the competition. In fact, I interacted with one of their teachers, and he says that they are really poised for action, and they believe strongly that they're going to make it to Kumasi at the 1A stage. Many of them also partly want to get up to that stage because that is the part where the competition actually gets more competitive.
Yeah.
Because there are more eyeballs starting to 1A stage, which is the elimination stage. And the prize package also from the 1A stage, the elimination stage, starts getting bigger. So really, if you want to project the image of your school, if you want your school to enjoy the buzz that comes to the National Science and Math Quiz competition, it has to be from the elimination stages. The preliminary stages, yes, there's a lot of competition there, not so many eyeballs. But from the elimination stage, which is the 1A stage, the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the grand finale, that is where the eyeballs will be. And that is what many of the people have been interacted with are yearning for. That is the stage they want to get to, and they want to make a difference from that stage.
Much Maxwell Agogba bringing us those update from Afriyie, and we will keep you posted. But the broadcast of the National Science and Maths quiz is brought to you by Joy News, and it's supported by Cowbell, Papa's Pizza, and Dole, DBS, and Tampico. It's also supported by Ace Medical Insurance. We're taking a break. We're bringing you business news next. Minister for Communications and Digitalization, Owusu, has hinted that plans are underway to introduce a mobile application that will aid in the registration of the ongoing national SIM card registration. According to her, only about 2 million of the population have been able to register successfully as of the end of last week. The situation she describes as very low, considering the number of SIM cards to be registered nationwide, hence the need for the app.
It's ongoing, and let me use this opportunity to encourage everyone we're dead serious about deactivating SIMs that are not registered at the end of March 2022. So if you haven't registered your SIM card, please see your service provider and get it done. I think in the next few weeks, we'll even release a self-registration app which will enable people to register themselves using the SIM registration app. We're working towards that, and we hope that that will spur up the uptake. I think just about 2 million people have registered their SIMs so far. That's a little on the low side. We have 40 million SIMs to register, people, and so please go out there and register all your SIM cards, and let's clean up the space as well. With the right SIM registry, it will be difficult for fraudsters to hide behind the anonymity of not knowing who is defrauding you because they are using a mobile platform. And so it's in our collective interest to ensure that we have a clean database that will make it easy to identify the deviants in our midst and make it easier for all of us to engage in our digital systems.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So the University for Development Studies have been awarded a total amount of 45,000 Ghana cedis as prize package after they emerged first 3 winners of this year's Vice Chancellor Business Innovation and Incubator Award in Tamale. The second in the series of the awards is to encourage the student to venture into entrepreneurship.
The Vice Chancellor's Business Innovation Award Scheme is part of efforts of the UDS to identify and support potential entrepreneurs among the students with viable business plan and to support with funding to enable them actualize their dreams. Each winner took home 15,000 Ghana cedis and a certificate. Addressing the dignitaries, the Vice Chancellor of the UDS, Professor Gabriel Ayumte, said even though he had muted the idea of introducing an innovation that would help unearth talent, he reached a firm decision when he saw an incubation program held in one of the universities he visited in the US.
And then in the community, like Tamale Metro here, it's a big area, just like we have this cultural center, that the government invested in it, the local government, and people who have these innovative ideas down there incubate their businesses for 2 to 3, 4 years until the business mature before they move out and they start going to rent their own premises. When they are doing the incubation, nobody taxes them, nobody charges them for utilities, nobody. They are just under this incubation. When you are incubating, you don't hatch the baby with the chicken, so you cannot eat it. So this idea, I realized that yes, if we implement it here in UDS, we will not only be creating viable alumnus, but it will also be a point of attraction for the young ones in the secondary schools to know that if I go to UDS, I'm likely to become a top businessman.
Director of Business Innovation and Incubation Center, Professor Richard Yeboah, outlined the selection process that led to the finals.
We started the process by a call for business ideas. So at the end, there are 34 business ideas submitted. We shortlisted to 20, And we have a first pitching program. After that, 12 were shortlisted again for the second pitch.
The winner, Abdul Rashid Wumpini, said he saw an opening in the vegetable industry with the increase in demand and went for it.
To the production of vegetables, supply, and that of the farming of these vegetables. In recent times, there has been an increase in the demand for vegetables, which is helping to boost the immune systems of people.
We're taking a break to bring you sports next. All right, it's time for sports, and we're looking at the Ghana Premier League, the opening matches in the Ghana Premier League that happened over the weekend. So it started from Friday. You had indicated that... What's funny? So you had indicated that there was the Legon City Accra Folk match was going to be a cracker. Well, I gave it to you. It ended up as a goalless draw.
Yes, I was at the stadium yesterday, and we all expected them to win because competitively they've played 3 matches before the rest of the teams. So match fitness-wise, they were in better shape, yes. to win. But they fluffed their lines. They missed so many chances against Legon Cities.
But you see, if you look at the Accra Folk situation, my understanding is that they haven't won their
opening games in the last 5 years. Yes. And it's a record that they were in pole position to halt it yesterday because they were facing a Legon Cities team that, yes, they are not too good, but they had so many chances they could have scored. Kofi Koji, Fatah Mohammed, so many chances that they could have buried.
So Legon Cities, despite all their signings and their coach, you were saying that they were not too good?
According to their coach, he said, that was before the game, that Haas are having the fitness level.
He believed that Haas was in a superior position.
Exactly. And they have played top teams in Africa. So he would not go into the game trying to win. He would want to frustrate them and then get the point. And he did that exactly well.
Okay, so he went in there to frustrate them. Yeah. Otherwise, Accra could have won.
But they didn't.
Okay, and the other, Commercial and Kotoko, they won their game on Saturday.
Yeah, by 3-1. Actually, they conceded the first goal and they scored 3 in the last 10 minutes of the game. And I mean, it's a very good start for them. Yes. Hopefully, they can continue that against Beche United.
So what's the league table looking like now?
Beche United, they scored 4 against Midiama, so they are on top of the table at the moment. And Kotoko are facing them in the second game. That was very difficult. I think all the teams that won, Asante Kotoko, Beche United, Great Olympics Drew, so Haas are around 9th. Understand?
Well, that's okay. It's just the beginning of the competition, opening matches. So it's early days yet. Well, so if you had looked at it last year, you'd have said, last season, who would have thought that Accra Folk was going to come and eventually win?
Well, that is football, but anything can happen. So they can defend it, they can also lose the league.
Thank you very much. So that's it for sports, and that's it for News Desk. I'm July. Thank you very much for watching. You have a wonderful day, and stay tuned in to the rest of our programs.